Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about the Laurier Neptune, and this is series 4. This watch has already been unboxed on the channel, but today is going to be a little different, and I recommend that you stay towards the end, because after this review we'll be talking to the people that actually created this watch. Okay guys, so what can be said about this watch that hasn't been already? Well, let's look at it from this perspective. If you are frequent to YouTube, this watch has been featured since 2018. I believe TGV was one of the first people to actually review this watch, and the rendition that he reviewed it had the NH35. This has the Miyota 9000 series in it. You can see right here on the screen, this are the dimensions and the specs of this watch. But I, however, do not have the reference of some of the classics, or at least experience enough to compare this watch to some of the classics. But I can tell you this, from still pictures, if you look at this watch, you can see that it has that 50s flair. It has that vintage look. And this is what got me. This is what really attracted me to the watch. Saw this watch at Wind Up Show in Chicago. Now, keep in mind, there are tons of watches, tons of dive watches, but it was something about this one, man. I said, you know what, this is crazy. And my background in watches are a lot bigger than this. This is a very handsome piece. I mean, that's the best I could say. Now, if we look at it, I mentioned in the previous video, I've never had a watch with drill lugs, which is going to make it easier to put a strap on this thing. Just changing it up. You can bring so many looks with this watch, but it's still just that vintage look that got me. The font, and then the name, actually. Now, there's so many different watch companies out here, man, but Laurier just seemed like, it was like, man, that seemed like premier or something. So this, in my opinion, just my opinion, put this ahead of a lot of other watches that, or as far as the micro brand space is, it puts ahead of a lot of timepieces. Now, this is series 4, so they had to perfect this watch, you know, based on all of the reviews that I've seen on this watch. They have done so many different things to this, and this, I mean, it was like subtle changes, like the hands, the lug to lug it's more compact. And keep in mind, I do wear a lot larger diameter timepieces, so this is at 39 millimeters. This may not work with some of the people that I know in the watch community, because 44 to 47 is like a sweet spot for some people. This will play small, a lot smaller, but it's a comfortable watch. The bracelet is phenomenal. The bracelet is dope. I like the bracelet, and the fact that it has screw pins, and even the hardware. Let's take a look at the hardware. The personalized thank you card, the screwdriver. So, you know, imagine, you know, everybody's in a different situation. Imagine you ordering this watch, it's coming to you. You may be on the go. You could take this with you wherever you go. If you got a moment, you can size your watch, put it on, and just enjoy it. And then it comes with a poly watch. So what I thought was a plus, honestly, is every watch is personal for me. I don't know how you guys collect. I don't collect to say, hey, you know, at one point I'm going to sell this watch and need to try to get my money out of it, or try to make a profit off of it. I enjoy each watch that I have, and one of the things that really got me, man, look at that. It's so much distortion in that. Man. And this watch does not come with a sapphire or mineral crystal. That's plexiglass. And you know one thing about that, well, you know, I'll say this. I've heard the reviews, and I've even talked about this. You know, some of the watch collectors say, hey, Trap, I like that watch. However, it doesn't have sapphire crystal. Well, that's the beauty of collecting, because you have other watches with sapphire crystal. This one has a different vibe to it, man. It's made to be vintage. It's a vintage timepiece. Even though this watch wasn't made in the 50s, it still takes you back there, right? And then you have that huge crown. And listen, I'm military, man. I love that chevron. But that crown, though, is huge. That crown is huge. So check this out. And another feature that I don't believe I've seen this on any other channel talk about, but the case back. It's a plain case back, but in this case, I opted for having it signed. And as you guys can see, I have been wearing this watch. I haven't taken it off until today just to review this, because guess what? I can sing the praises of this watch. The only downside to this watch for me, it do pull hair a bit. Not as bad as another watch that I have in my collection, but it do yank it every once in a while. I don't have a lot of hair on my arm, so maybe if I was hairier, I probably I will still. No, I just shaved my arm because I really like the watch. This is something that I feel like can grow with, or it can grow with me, and it'll be in my collection because as a dive watch, it's amazing. Now, let's see. That right there got me. It's so satisfying. 120 click bezel, coin edge, as you can see. And I'll get a close-up of the handset because it's only right. It's only right that you guys see, yes. And I want you to see all the imperfections, like all the little dust, and you can see that it has wear. Look at the wear on it already. I've been wearing the mess out this watch. And I've only had this watch for like a week. Yes. I am one with this timepiece. Here's the thing about this watch. It has to compete with so many other timepieces, and there are going to be a lot of watches that will get your attention, but this one right here, as far as the vintage look, it is inspired by 3 heavy-hitting watches. It is a homage, but this one is a homage that you cannot argue that says it's a direct copy to anything. This watch is dope. That's all I'm gonna say. It's dope. I love the font. Very small font. And oh, wait a minute. The loom on it is crazy. Man, the loom, that BGW9 is that's the ticket right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hear from the people that actually created this watch, that designed this watch. We'll get to understand them. We'll get to know them a little better. They have been featured on other channels before. This is the first time me having them here on my channel, and hope you guys get to learn more about this company. And if you are digging this watch, I still say, even though how many watch companies will actually do that for you, I'm not sure. This is the first one that I've had. I'm pretty sure there's other watches out there, other watch companies that will actually stencil that in for you, or engrave that for you. But for me, I'm sold. And the biggest question for me, as being a collector of watches, or a lot larger watches, would I buy another Laurier model? And the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. They actually have some other pieces, yes, plural, pieces that I definitely would like to have in my collection. So the price, $499. That's the current price for this, but they do have other watches in their collection that I would say are priced reasonably considering today's market. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, what is the biggest thing about this watch? What is the biggest takeaway? As far as comfort, my wrist is 7 1/4, right? So you see how it sits on the wrist, it sits flat. If you frequent this channel before, you've seen some of the watches I've worn. This will be one of the few pieces that fits handsomely on my wrist. And I know some of you guys are like, hey, you should try something small, you should try. And I get into watches based off of how I feel, what I want, what just attracts me. And this was one, like I said before in the beginning of this video, I saw this at a wind-up. And of all the watches I saw, this was the one that I gravitated to. And it was because, look Look at that vintage look. So I get to have a vintage watch without having a vintage worry. And yes, I know that vintage watches can be a lot to take care of. This one, however, high beat movement, solid design, and it fits comfortably. Mill style clasp. I mean, stainless steel. The thing has a lot of stuff. I mean, we can go through specs, but like, how does it, you know, how does it really fit to you? How does it look to you? That's the biggest thing. When, like, so I would say, and then there's no date. Of course, there's no date. Having a one watch collection for an enthusiast, come on, let's be for real. An enthusiast having a one watch collection, come on, stop it. But if you're gonna have a watch that you're gonna wear on a regular basis and be connected with, because after using that poly watch and keeping it brushed and all this stuff, polished and looking good for time and even passing it down, this is one of those that, you know, again, this is being journaled on YouTube. I have children. If my children look and seem like, you know what was dad interested in? And they see this watch, they like, you know what? And they go to my collection and say, hey, he still has that watch. I want that. This is something else. I dig this. This right now, again, I keep a running list, a category of watches that I go to the most. And this is now in that category. Hands down. I'm not about to go back and forth with anybody. So let's get ready to hear from Lorenzo and Lauren. Oh, man, this is about to be amazing, man. If you made it this far in the premiere, thank you guys so much. Lorenzo, Lauren, I hope you guys are ready, man, because you're about to meet the family. So, until this live, but if you're just watching this separately, thank you so much for watching this much of the video. I salute you, man. Until the next lightning strike, you guys be blessed.